everybody. For those of you who don't know me or just meeting me tonight, my name is Melissa Sterling, and I'm very excited to be here with all of you, as well as Gilbert Anderson. Gilbert and I met several years ago in 2001 when we were both a part of another network marketing company, and Gilbert at the time was the #1 money earner in the company. And so he was always running programs and trainings and incentives and really helping us compete against ourselves to be better at what we were doing, and really helping a lot of people make a few $100s, make a few $1,000s. You know, it made a difference in my life, and it was fun to work with the team. And so over the years, we lost touch a little bit. We've reconnected on this health aspect. And so I'm really excited to take the experience that I have with health and knowledge I have with health and being able to help so many people from so many aspects and partner with Gilbert, because he is able to help us all train from life, from work, from business, from health. I mean, he's done a lot of things in his own life. He put over 50,000 people in the business that he just did, help bringing it to Canada and putting a lot of people. So he's not here to play small, he's here to play big. And he's getting up at 5 a.m. every day, doing all the stuff that we should all be doing at the 5 a.m. club. So he's a leader that leads through example, which is really exciting for me to work with, because there's a lot of people out there that write books or do shows or talk from the butt instead of shooting from the hip. And I'm just really excited to work with Gilbert. So I'm going to give him the stage and let him go on. There's a bunch of companies that I should be telling you all of his credentials, but I'm just going to let you take it because I know you know all the stuff.
Okay. And I want to give it back to Melissa, because I truly believe what I did is I got to a certain point in my life, and I went home to help my dad when he was sick and he was dying, and because of nutrition, he got an extra 5 years of his life. And I went home after been traveling around the world, and he was laying in bed sleeping 20 hours a day. I had a stroke. He had prostate cancer. He had all the things. And, you know, we got another 5 years of good life out of him. But if we would have known what we would have known 30 years ago, where could we have saved a lot of that process? And I love what Melissa gives me the book, The 5 a.m. Club. So I've already given the owner of this company the 5 a.m. Club. And he's created $2 billion companies. There's only been 11 in this industry. So think about this. In an industry that's been around for 50-some years, there's 11 companies that have hit $1 billion, and Dallon's been a part of 2 of them. Has anybody heard of USANA? USANA was started 29 years ago, and he was the guy that started with the owners, and he was the field of his sister, a single mom of 5 kids, become the #1 money earner in that company. He left that after it got to be a few $100 million. And then he started a company called Montevideo. Has anybody heard of that? He was the owner of that company. So what happened is I retired. I did a company with Bob and Linda Proctor. I did VASAYO. I brought this company into Canada. Fortunate enough, I went through all the regulatories, the Competition Bureau, and the reason I brought that into them, I joined a company in the 2000 called Excel. Did anybody ever hear of that? Excel was a long distance telephone. That's where I met Melissa. So I want to give you the story how I got into this business. I did not ever think that I was ever going to get into network marketing, but what happened was I had a brain hemorrhage from a boxing accident. Somebody said, Gilbert, boxing's not an accident. And I said, you got a point there. But I was sparring the Canadian middleweight champion of Canada. In the 3rd round, he hits me in the side of the head. 3 days later, my head fills up with blood. They rushed me to the University Hospital. I don't work for 14 months. So what do you think happens when you have a brain injury that you can't walk down the street, you fall down, you lose your short-term memory, your balance is gone, you learn how to talk again. 90 or 70% of people don't get out of the hospital. So when I finally went to treatment centers and all kinds of stuff, went back drinking and depression, and I was on morphine for 3 months. And they say that's as tough as cocaine to get off. And make a long story short, I got well enough. I moved to Red Deer, to the #1 office in Century 21, Canada. And that year, I never thought I'd ever work another day in my life. And I sold 102 houses. How did I do that? Programs and formulas. I mean, I'm a copycatter. I'm not too good at too many things, but I hang around the best people I possibly can to create what I can learn. Bob Proctor was my personal coach and mentor. I've been at his house many, many times. Bob and I have Matter of fact, the reason I'm in this business today, 20 years ago, my sponsor in this business, Greg Ferraro from Coeur d'Alene, I just got back there from there today. He came to a Bob Proctor seminar when I broke every record in a company. And we did the Science of Getting Rich in 2000. And that's where I first met Greg Ferraro. So I was working with the #1 real estate trainer in the world at that time. I'm Floyd Wickby, #1 in Century. Betty, the lady that helped me recover and got me back on track, come home one day. We set a goal January 1st. January 7th, she comes to the office and says, Gilbert, I'm not going to do real estate. I'm going to do network marketing. There's this company called Excel that's coming to Canada. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I was not impressed. So I went to the meetings for 3.5 months, sat at the back of the room like this, and I heard this guy say, if you want what I got, you got to learn what I learned, go do what I did, and you might get what I got. I had no idea what the heck he was talking about. All I want to do was get that lady back to selling real estate so we could go make some money. Well, I'll tell you what started happening. The one with the most conviction always wins. Well, I've never sold real estate after that day. And what happened was after 3.5 months of me not being able to get her back, I joined that company. In 5 years, we went from #2 million to #2 in the world. And we built a team. This guy here who brought this company to Canada was the #1 money earner, was a broke school teacher from Kentucky. And I brought FHTM. Started with 3 people in my basement, and we built a team of 53,000. Long story short, retired, went home to look after dad, and I got a call to come out of retirement. And I wished the guy when he first phoned, he says, hey, I got a night. He says, I'm not interested. Done that, did that. And then he started telling me about Dallin. But what I'm going to do for everybody now is I'm going to go through a presentation for about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to bring the formulator that's made the product. So here's what I did. When I decided to come out of retirement, I didn't just say, I'm going to sign up with this company. I used the sleep product. We only had sleep. We had a product called Renew, Lipo technology, and an energy product. We don't even have that. We've converted that into a different formula. And so what happened was I used those. My wife had a separated shoulder, dislocated shoulder from the Renew. Use that product. Amazing results with that. The sleep, it started putting me into a REM when you're, pressure and everything else and taking some time off. The products helped immensely. So what I did is after 4, 5, 6 months, they kept calling me because I was using the product and I was building a team, but I wasn't working the business. It started to get very big. And I decided that instead of getting back into real estate, I would fly down. I met the owner of the company and I realized I love what I do. And so I flew down, met the owner, and then I said, okay, I'm going to fly and I'm going to meet 5 owners and top money earners. And I've mentored and coached a lot of them. And what ended up happening is I joined this company. I flew to Florida. I was interviewing all of the top money earners that I knew personally, and I made a decision to join this company. And I'll tell you why I did just join this company is because I believe Dallin is by far the best person I've ever seen in this industry. And he had a desire to put some of the greatest technology in the wellness. When I met Melissa, I seen her online. And I decided I was hiring a coach, financial coach. I'm hired a personal coach, a spiritual coach. Because if you want to be the best at what you can be, why not get people that already know? I mean, I'm good at building networks. You decide to join this team here tonight, you're going to be at the top of this team. And everybody we're going to put in together is going to be underneath you. It gives you a tremendous advantage of, we call that first homeowner's advantage or first buyer's advantage. And that's getting in, before we're even launched in Canada. So if I can sit there and go through a few things, and then there's no sense if you can get the person that builds the product, don't you think it would be better him telling you about the product than me? All right. So I know he's going to be coming on. Can everybody hear pretty good over there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I want to thank everybody for coming on, and I'm just going to go through these slides a little bit. And then if we can kind of keep an eye on the time, I'm doing 2 things. I want to be ready for 7:30, but I wanted to give you an introduction. So if we have any questions on the product, Tracy will open up. He's going to talk about 5 minutes on each one of the products. And then if you want to know anything afterwards as far as the business, and then I will be here. And I'm going to be here about 90% of my time is going to be spent with this group in the next 4 months. And I'll show you the game plan that we're going to do. So thank you, Melissa, with that. All right. So here we go. All right. So if you want to just flip your thing to the next, there, perfect. Everybody needs a vehicle, no matter what it is. We all got dreams. We all have goals. Whether it's to inspire to have better health or financial freedom, or if we just want to serve more. And I'm going to tell you that if you can go ahead and do something, wouldn't you want to enjoy the ride and get there a little bit quicker? And so I'm going to show you that why I believe that this company is the best vehicle that I got to choose from. Now, how many people in this room or on the webinar have done network marketing or have heard of network marketing and know something about network marketing? Okay, so what is it? The power of leverage, right? What did J. Paul Getty say? I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 men than 100% of my own. What I work more on today is balance. I love getting up. I read a book called the 5 a.m. Club because my coach decided that I needed to read that book. Now I've got all my friends reading that book. People do what you do. And I just wanted not only just to be taking supplements, I want to be putting good food in my body, and I wanted to get in the best shape. In that book, it said, how would you like to add decades to your life? Not days or weeks or months, decades. And when I read that, I said, this book, I'm going to follow that book. Anybody interested in adding decades to their life? All right, I know Jesse is. They're getting some hands. Just think what we could do in the next 30 or 40 years. I'm going to build a center on the Red Deer River that I'm going to spend the rest of my days doing what Bob Proctor does and have my center there and work with my leaders and build teams and bring teams in from all around the world. All right, duplication. Everybody knows the power of duplication. I started with 3 people and we built a team of 53,000. How did that? A few people know a few people. Like Melissa's got 20 people here between here and online, and those 20 know 20, and so on and so forth. Are you following me? Power of duplication. All right. Next slide. If you want, what did I do here? Just hold on here. I got to get rid of that.
I flipped already.
Yeah, next one there. If you want to just go ahead to the next slide. How many people have heard of Robert Kiyosaki? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I love him. The favorite quote that I used to use for my kids, and my kids are all doing very well. My youngest kid's a chiropractor, and my daughter owns a Sobeys in Silver Lake, and my oldest son is a chiropractor. I love the quote he always said, you should buy 2 bikes, one to ride and one to rent. All right, and why would you want to do that? It's called the power of leverage. My mentor that I used for many years, Napoleon Hill, through Think and Grow Rich. If you realize he done amazing things, but he had 7 turning points in his life, and all 7 times he was broke. Do you think that life is a little bit easier if your bills are paid and you can have that financial freedom? That's one thing I'm very, very good at building teams and creating cash flow. I'm going to tell you, this lady knows more about health than anybody I know. So when you mix the 2 people together, and you mix the systems together and you partner with people that are best in the world, it's called opportunity, okay? So Robert Kiyosaki, we're going to be having new slides here in January. We're going to put the cash flow quadrant in. What do they say? When you can have over 500 employees working for you, you have a big business, okay? Well, what if you have 50,000 just doing a couple hours a week? That's pretty darn good leverage, isn't it? That's called financial freedom and so on. So I want to tell you why I believe that this company is a 5-star opportunity. And there's some things that need to be in place in order to have a 5-star opportunity. And number one, do you think you need to have good leadership if you're going to have a 5-star company? Without a doubt. You got to have disruptive products and services. They waited 8 months till they launched the company because they couldn't come up with something that was disruptive. How many vitamin companies are on the board? How many? They need to come up with a technology. And when they come up with that, they launch the company. And the deregulation of lipotechnology was a patent in the pharmaceutical world for 20 years. When it got deregulated, we're going to have the person that couldn't even join the business because he had another 1 year non-compete. And when I got to meet Tracy, and I've done a weight loss program with him and so on. Timing. Do you think that getting in before building real estate, I love to buy and sell properties. Do you think buying real estate before Walmart's up is a good time to buy real estate? When don't buy the land beside Walmart after Walmart is built. It's too late. We're not even launched in this company, and he already has done things that have never been done in this industry. He's already opened up 11 countries, and we're only 18 months old. 11 companies, and he's done things in them 18 months that no company's ever done so far. All right. Generous reward plan. There's only so much money in every rewards plan, but I've never seen a plan that I've worked with that goes ahead and does what this company's going to do. Okay, I want to talk about our leadership. How many people have heard of Dallin Larson? How many people have heard of the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award? That's one person gets that in the United States, one company. Now think about that. Every company, Google, Dell won it once. Do you think the only person in network marketing, Dallin Larson, won the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year because of his company, and it went from 0 to $1 billion in 3 years. And they give him the Ernst & Young Award. He was the CEO of Utah, and he came out of retirement, and he does not need to come out of retirement. He's got money his kids won't spend. And when I flew down and met this guy, and after I phoned 5 of the people and I flew down and met every one of them, I only had one question because the number 4 money earner in this industry said, Gilbert, who's going to run with you? I phoned this guy and I said, who's going to run with you? Who's going to run with me? And he said, I'm going to. He would be on the call here tonight for you, except he's got his kids on a cruise. So he's got no cell for phone service. All right. So leadership. Started a company called USANA. USANA's still operating today. Then he started a company called Monavie. It was taken over by another company. He only could have 16% of the company at that time because he wasn't financially free. Monavie was an incredible journey. No company's ever done. We done more in our first year than Monavie did. Okay, so just letting you know where we're at today. All right. Disruptive companies. How many people have heard of Uber? If you imagine 5 years ago, we think we're going to jump in some stranger's car and we're going to go ahead. Now, how many people order a taxi today? How many people use Uber? We all use Uber. And what do they own? Absolutely nothing. What about Amazon? Has anybody ordered anything from Amazon? What does Amazon own? I got a little picture of him and his computer. Disruptive company. They did something nobody else did. What we've done is we've started in a lipotechnology delivery system that's not been done. Now, will there be other companies that'll start? Absolutely. When we deliver our CBD oil, we'll be able to put it into the lipotechnology that we're launching here in January. Absolutely, a lot of great things start to happen. So, what about these little iPhones? Do you know that this company hit $1 trillion the other day? First company in the world to hit $1 trillion. Isn't that incredible? So they're just disruptive companies that allow us to go ahead and go out. So VASAYO decided to get into the wellness with a delivery system that's not out there at this time. And really, what is the number one problem in today's society with our foods? Depletion. This lady can tell you more about health, and the more that I'm eating better breakfasts, I'm doing my 5 a.m. workouts. I'm not doing 2 hours of workouts. I'm doing 20 minutes, and then I'm journaling, and then I'm meditating, and then I'm starting my day, and I'm putting good food into my body. But my mentors didn't tell me that kind of stuff, and to enjoy the journey a little bit more. And so I used to do 90-day plans all around the world. I wrote programs. Now I'm doing 120-day plans because 90 days for my team. And then what? I want time for me. I want time for my family. I'm going to go down to Mexico because that fits into my time and to go ahead and to do the things that go. So with that, I'm just going to go one more slide, you guys, and I'm just going to see if he's available. And I'm sure he's going to be coming in here right away. And I'll just see if Tracy's available. I'll say we're ready. And we did send him the link, right? And I'll just see if he's coming on. He's not on yet, is he? No, I don't see him. Okay, he'll be coming on here in a second. I'll just text him. I'll just call him. That'll work. Next slide. Okay. So I'll just talk a little bit about the lipotechnology. Now, we did send him the link, right?
What's his phone number? I'll send it to him right now.
Okay, his phone number is, I'll just text it to you, just in case.
Somebody just joined.
Well, there we go.
Yep, that was me.
Hello there, Tracy. Well, I just want to let you know we've got a good group of people here. We just went through the talking about Dallin and talking about why I joined this business. And when I first met you, Tracy, what I went and did was I actually met you, and we were just developing your weight loss, and you were developing the Core Complete. And when I flew down to the convention in Florida, we launched that product. But we've got a good core group of people here, and maybe we're just at the lipotechnology. And, you know, we didn't start this company right away because we didn't have a disruptive product, but you've developed all the products. This guy has formulated over 900 products around the world. He spent his entire lifetime, and I've never met a more knowledgeable guy in the industry. And I can't wait till you meet Melissa, who's hosting this launch here in Calgary, and we've got people across on here. And so with that, Tracy, maybe just take it away. Maybe say to the people why you joined Dallin Larson. When you talked here in Calgary, I thought that was the best that I'd ever heard, and where we're at, and lipo, and then we'll just go through the products, and you can talk a little bit, Adam, and just tell us when to turn, and we can go on to the products, okay?
Okay, I actually just requested to be able to control Angela's screen, so I might be able to move the PowerPoint forward as I'm discussing the liposome technology.
Well, you got a great person with Angela. I only met her an hour ago or 2 hours ago, and she was just dancing, so I'm sure she'll be able to help you.
All right, good, great. So yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit about, you know, the technology that we're using, but I do want to start out and just mention, you know, why, and you've already mentioned this about why Dallin formed this company, and how he kind of brought on this dream team of people. I have known Dallin, obviously being an active participant in the dietary supplement product and development side for over 25 years now. I knew of Dallin simply because I had some small dealings with Monavi. I helped fix their preservative systems in the Monavi Active as they were going into Japan. Japan didn't allow some of the preservatives that we were using in the US. And so Randy Larson, Dallin's brother, introduced me to Dallin, and I did a small contract work for Monavi back about 10 years ago as they were entering the Japan market. And of course, I knew of him from his USANA days, but he wasn't actively involved he was involved in sales of the company, not the product development. So my little bit of time I spent at USANA helping them with some products, I didn't know Dallin well then, but he doesn't need to start another company. You know, I just like to say that he has made plenty of money on his own. He lives in this insanely large, kind of sick home. It's like 25,000 square feet. You know, he and his wife travel the world. She's a pilot herself. They didn't need to start a network marketing company. And if you've ever been involved in the intricacies or known the back office of a network marketing company, you guys, it's not fun. Being a distributor is fun. A brand partner is a piece of cake. All you guys have to do is open your mouth and talk to people. We do all the accounting, all the financing, all the product development, all the manufacturing, all the bookkeeping, everything for you. And that's a headache. And on top of that, you have brand partners who sometimes don't get along or tattle on each other at all. You know, sometimes we call it like expensive babysitting. That's what owning a company is. So why in the world would Dallin do this again? And it's because he does have a talent and he has a passion to help people. Network marketing and anyway, being self-employed is truly the only way to kind of make it on your own out there. If you want to live the true American dream, instead of just working 9 to 5, you have to learn about leverage marketing. And Dallin loves teaching people about that. So the only reason he started this company was to help people. And he wanted to help people in all aspects, not just financially, but physical as well. And that's one of the reasons why he called me and asked me to not only be the formulator, but to be the spokesperson behind the product as well. And it's the first time I've done this in my career, by the way, owning my own R&D facility. I have worked with over 60 companies across the globe, 16 different countries, I was producing products for. So I have accounts even today still active in Japan and Malaysia, Singapore, Holland, Germany, South America. So my facility still does produce products for companies all over the world. And just to be clear, I actually do not produce the products here at VASAYO. I am only the formulator for the products. So I did the formulas, but we contract those out to companies that Dallin has relationships with. So I'm not double dipping here. I've been asked that question before because I own my own R&D facility and I own manufacturing facility. People ask, well, are you making the products? No, I don't. I think that's a conflict of interest if I were to do that. But obviously, I tell the contract manufacturers how to make these products because they are very special. And moving on to that specialness, when Dallin asked me if I would come on board, I had to be very clear with him in that I didn't want to come on board and allow the company to use my name if these weren't products that I would be taking myself and that my family would be able to take and that I believed in. And he's like, well, then make me the best. That's what we want. We want the best products. And so I got him to commit to that. And that's actually part of my contract with Dallin, is that I'm in complete control of what goes into the products, how they're manufactured, and have oversight over that. And I told Dallin about the liposome technology, that if we were going to do something, it would have to be unique. It would have to be scientifically validated. For me, that was the most important part. I've always kind of been a policing agent in the dietary supplement industry because about 98% of the supplements out there are frauds or garbage, if you want to, use easier terms. They come from crappy sourced ingredients. They're not well put together. They're put together by perhaps medical doctors who don't know anything about nutrition. No offense if there's any doctors out there listening, but asking a medical doctor to formulate a dietary supplement is like asking your car mechanic to pick the leading stock of the day or something. I mean, they have no clue about nutrition because they may have taken a semester or two of nutrition of that, and that's about it. I mean, I'm a pharmacognosist. That's my background. My PhD is in organic chemistry and ethnobotany. Pharmacognosy is what it's called, but people really don't know what that means. It basically just means the plant phytochemicals, or the nutrients inside the plants that make them work and how they work in their body. So I have extensive studies in many parts of the body. I had to take nephrology courses, extensive courses on the lymphatic system, on the liver, how it processes phytochemicals, AVD ratios of nutrients in the bloodstream. These were all classes that I was taking in postgraduate work. And this is why I know how to formulate. I know the active phytonutrients in the plants. You know, it's just not combining a bunch of plants and calling it a dietary supplement. You've got to know what's in there too, and how they work well together. One of the reasons why we chose to use liposomes is because many of these amazing phytonutrients in plants are not bioavailable to the human body. Just as an example, does everyone out there know a common phytochemical known as resveratrol, or maybe another common one known as curcumin? Curcumin is found in turmeric, and resveratrol is found in fermented skin and seeds of grapes, dark purple grapes, and sometimes muscadine grapes as well. These nutrients are not bioavailable to the human body, and yet in vitro clinical studies have amazing results, amazing antioxidant properties, amazing anti-inflammatory properties. But again, how do you get those in vitro results in vivo? In other words, inside the human body. And that's where you have to have a unique delivery system. And we chose liposomes as one of those for these difficult to absorb nutrients, because that's exactly what the pharmaceutical industry did back in the 60s. Back in the 50s, the late 1950s, when IV chemotherapy was starting to be more mainstream, compliance was actually quite low, because a lot of Americans at that time still lived in rural parts of the country, and getting a newly diagnosed cancer patient to drive 2 or 3 hours to the hospital to sit there with an IV in his arm for 3 or 4 days while he went through these rounds of chemo was quite difficult. A lot of people chose not to come in, and pharma companies wanted to be able to produce a drug that they could take home and put in pill form for these people. And yet you've got drugs like tamoxifen that were so toxic to the human body that when you took them orally, you basically just vomited them up. Your body wouldn't recognize it, it wouldn't accept it or absorb it. And that's where liposomes came into play. Scientists discovered that if you could take these highly toxic drugs and encapsulate them in a fat bubble or bond them with a fat, your body recognizes fat, and your body loves fat. And it would actually absorb those toxins so that your bloodstream could then deliver those cytotoxins to the areas where they were needed. Of course, cytotoxins destroy all cells, your immune cells and healthy cells as well, but that's what chemotherapy is. But at least it allowed for an oral dispensing system or an oral delivery system for chemotherapy drugs. And that was the foundation of the discovery of liposomes and how they work. Of course, pharma companies wrapped those processes up in multiple patents. Those patents only started to wear out about 10 years ago, allowing other people to use them. And that's when I started researching them for the dietary supplement industry, was in about 2006, 2007. Because we could use that same technology to deliver these highly beneficial and yet highly not bioavailable phytochemicals out there, like resveratrol, like curcumin, like cycloestrogenol, which is that telomerase enhancing product that comes from astragalus. There's all sorts of really cool plant phytochemicals out there that can do amazing things in our body if we could just get those phytochemicals to the cell. And liposomes do that. There's great science behind liposomes. I mean, just something as simple as a Wikipedia search. Go to Wiki and type in liposomes, and it's basically the VASAYO story. Read that wiki on liposomes, and you'll see how the history of them, how they've been used, how they have been clinically proven to enhance nutrient absorption. And then near the bottom of that wiki section is quite a long article, by the way. It talks about dietary supplements and the use of liposomes, and how it's new and cutting edge for the dietary supplement industry. Well, that's the industry that you're participating in now as a VASAYO brand partner. It is new. There's less than a handful of companies out there producing real liposomes for dietary supplements. There's a slew. There's probably over 20 companies that I've seen that claim they use liposomes, But when you actually look at the formulas and you look at the technology they're using, they're actually what's called an emulsion. Emulsion is when you just take fats, throw them into a blender with other nutrients, blend them together, and then serve that to people. That's not a liposome, that's an emulsion, a homogenized emulsion. Two totally different things. The formation of liposomes is quite complex and complicated, and only a few people know how to do that. I was able to study under the best. If you guys want to write this down, look at Dr. Robert Nicolosi, or Dr. Srikanth Kakumanu. He was actually one of my fellow students, but Dr. Bob Nicolosi is who trained me and others how to use and create natural liposomes. He's written over 250 white papers, mostly for phytochemical as well as pharmaceutical drug encapsulation of liposomes. He's one of the world's most highly respected liposome and nanotechnology researchers out there. He graduated Harvard, went on to MIT, and he now teaches at UMass at Boston. Anyway, he's a great guy. He's older. He's semi-retired now. He's professor emeritus there, but he still finds time to chat with me sometimes if I ever get stuck on making a solution to a problem. So anyway, liposome technology is what we use for our difficult to assimilate but highly beneficial phytochemicals, and we employ those in 4 of our products. I am trying to go on to the next slide. There we go. Oh, yeah, right here. Oh, did you guys already cover this stuff, the products, or not?
No, we're just waiting for you.
Okay.
You want to go over them real quick?
Yeah, I'm just going to go over them real quickly. They keep changing. I want to go back to the liposome products. Go back to the sleep and renew. Who's got control of the screen right now? Right there. Go back to one more.
There we go. Oh, who's doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not touching anything right now. So
there we go.
yeah, you can stay on this slide if you want to. But if you look at our liquid products, so our Eternal, our Sleep and Renew, and then over on the other side, the Neuro and the Vtox. Now, the majority of our liposome formulas are liquid because it is much easier to stabilize a liposome in a liquid form than it is a tablet or capsule. In fact, there's one company in the entire world out of Spain who has learned to stabilize powdered liposomes. So if you ever see, by the way, a powdered product that claims liposome technology and it's not patented by Phytosome, this company out of Spain, they're called Idena Corporation, then it's a lie. Nobody can use a powdered liposome except Idena Corporation. They're out of Barcelona, Spain. They're the only company in the world that's been able to stabilize powdered liposomes. We buy ingredients from them, and that's what's in our Neuro and our Vtox. Those are our 2 powdered liposomes. The other liquid, Sleep, Renew, and Eternal, are our liquid liposomal products. Now, you need to understand the VASAYO is not a liposomal-based company. VASAYO is an advanced delivery technology company, okay? We will use the latest and greatest of advanced delivery technologies out there as they become available to us or as we research them. Currently, the best for delivering phytochemicals is liposomes. But let's say, for example, that I wanted to make a whole food-based product. I can't nano-size an apple or an orange or a green tea leaf. You know, those are whole foods. So how do I extract the nutrients out of those whole foods in your body and then deliver them to the cells? Well, it's quite simple. It's actually what I own a patent on. It's an enzyme delivery technology. Enzymes are what break our food nutrients down to their smallest components so that your GI tract can easily assimilate them into the body. And my patent, it took about 7 years to get. I had to provide pretty extensive clinical studies to the patent office to prove that my particular combination of enzymes were actually breaking down nutrients faster and increasing the absorption or enhancement of the absorption of the active phytochemicals in the food. For example, like vitamin C out of oranges. If you ate a regular orange, full of vitamin C that was standardized to contain a certain percentage of vitamin C, and then tested your blood, and then took an orange with my enzymes and then tested your blood vitamin C levels, we would have to show an increase in that, which we did, which I was awarded a patent on after 7 years of back and forth with the patent office. But we use enzyme technology in our whole food products, and that's that back row there, the core, the V3, and the V-Slim. Our advanced delivery technology for our whole food formulas is an enzyme delivery system. So currently we use liposomes and or enzymes depending on what the nutrient is. If it's a phytochemical, so an extracted phytochemical, we use liposomes. If it's a whole food product, we use enzymes. I'm doing some research right now, like maybe I shouldn't say it. I don't want to let cats out of the bag here, but you know, there's some cool things going on with micelle technology right now, which is ultra nanoparticles less than 50 nanometers in size, whereas our existing liposomes are about 200 to 800 nanometers in size. There's some really cool things coming up in the future as far as delivery technology, but I do want to reiterate, please do not mistake that VASAYO is a liposome company. A lot of our brand partners say that, and it's just not true. We are an advanced delivery technology company. We will always be modifying and adapting our products to ensure that you're getting the most bioavailable forms of these nutrients, and who knows what those technologies will be in the future. But currently, we're at the cutting edge using enzymes and liposomes. So let's move on to the next slide if we can. I'll go over each one of the products here just basically with these bullet points. Eternal is our answer to the baby boomer dilemma, the aging process that we're going through, which I've started now. You can see this hairline of mine getting thinner. I'm starting to get some crow's feet now. So of course I was highly motivated and interested to produce a very effective anti-aging product. And aging, you guys, actually is an internal issue. All of our cells go through apoptosis, and some of those cells are made to die fast, and some are made to last for several months and several years. But free radical damage interferes that life cycle of the cell, or that natural apoptosis cycle, because it creates effects, for instance, in our red blood cells called poikilocytosis. There are as we age, our glutathione levels, catalase superoxide dismutase levels start to drop. And no matter how many fruits and vegetables, or what we call the exogenous antioxidants, no matter how many of these external antioxidants we consume, you're not going to stave off that aging process, because the aging process starts with your body's internal, or what we call the endogenous antioxidants, which decline as we age. And so we wanted to take the world's best exogenous antioxidants like grapeseed extract, coenzyme Q10, lycopene, lutein. So, 10 of these super fruits that contain a variety of these powerful exo or external antioxidants we wanted to combine those with the most powerful internal antioxidants. And most of these, for example, like CoQ10, like glutathione and superoxide dismutase, you can't take them internally. If you take them orally, your digestive tract just destroys them. Internal glutathione does nothing for you, which is why people spend $600 to $900 to go get a glutathione shot, because you've got to get it in an injection directly in your bloodstream. But with liposome technology, that's not true. With liposomes, we can use pure glutathione, encapsulate that in a fat bubble, and we can get it directly to the bloodstream, and there's several clinical studies proving that. So we actually have the best endogenous antioxidants and the best exogenous antioxidants combined into one formula. So we truly are fighting anti-aging internally and externally, all with one product that, by the way, tastes amazing. Have you gotten new shipments of the new flavor yet, everybody? The berry blend, or has nobody received that one yet? No, it's brand new. It only came out a few weeks ago.
We put some orders in, so they probably are coming through the border.
All right, all right. So Vtox is our answer to the dilemma we have living in the chemical-laden society that we live in. You know, I've had many physicians say, well, why do you need to detoxify? Your body has 5 elimination organs and it detoxifies all by itself. I totally agree with that. But what these scientists and doctors don't understand is the epigenetic cycle that we've kind of put ourselves into. You know, if you look at human genetics and how our elimination organs were developed and how they eliminate toxins that we were exposed to on a daily basis at 10,000 BC, you know, between 50,000 and 10,000 BC, as our bodies were over time changing to the environment that we lived in. Then you hit again 5,000 BC with the agrarian society and how we started, you know, cultivating plants and everything. There still wasn't any major change to the pollution in our environment. And it really didn't even happen even during the industrial age, because that was just carbon pollution in the 18 and 1900s, when we're seeing the coal fire heating systems and everything. You know, we had volcanoes all over the world, all throughout men's history, and men has been able to breathe in these carbon-based toxins, and so our lungs have adapted to expelling these. But what our bodies have never seen, never in the history of humankind, has only been occurring for the last 70 years, and that's petroleum chemical problems. Everything that you're sitting on, that you're wearing, that you're touching, that you're spraying in the air, that you're breathing in, are these petroleum chemicals that our body has never seen. And if there's any physicians out there listening to this right now, you tell me your thoughts and your theory on why we're having this huge influx of endocrine system disorders that we've never seen in humankind. It seems as though almost every year we're naming some type of new endocrine system disorder, whether it's Graves' disease or different types of lymphomas, or I don't have a list in front of me right now, but I mean, right now there's over 60 named endocrine system disorders that have been just discovered within the last 20 years. My theory and my hypothesis for that is that, well, I shouldn't say just theory. It's theory based on quite a bit of research on the endocrine system and how our elimination organs are unable to not only expel the heavy metal pollutants that we're exposed to due to our petroleum-based processing, but also how these parabens sorry, I don't want to get too detailed. I was going to list the 4 or 5 known petroleum chemicals that are in our foods and our cosmetics that we use on a daily basis, but how these carcinogens that we're ingesting every day, our elimination organs don't know what to do with them. We haven't, if we continue using these petroleum products for the next 1,000 years or so, even over the next 4 or 5 generations, of course, our body's going to find a way to adapt and overcome. I don't know if it means we're going to get huge lymph nodes, or we're going to develop maybe a secondary type of liver that somehow cleans these out. I don't know how it's going to happen, but our bodies are going to have to adapt, or we're going to have to change our environment back to a cleaner environment and not use all of these petroleum products, because we are literally dying from cancer, which I believe in the next 20 years will actually overcome heart disease as the #1 leading cause of death among humans. We see it increasing at a higher rate right now than heart disease as far as percentage wise. 680,000 some odd deaths a year right now of cancer, about 890,000 deaths a year of heart disease. It used to be about a 400,000 person gap. Now it's only about a 200,000 person gap. And that's just because we need extra help detoxifying these. Vtox contains very specific herbs and a very specific nutrient known as fulvic acid, F-U-L-V-I-C, fulvic acid, which bonds with petroleum products and heavy metals in our body. And our bodies recognize fulvic acid as something that's not needed. So as the fulvic acid bonds to these chemicals, it allows it to be carried out through the elimination organs, particularly the kidneys and the colon and whatnot. So I think Vtox is a must. It should be a daily part of any dietary supplement program, especially if you want to not be a statistic, you know, for cancer. And I'm not trying to use scare tactics here or anything. That's just what I see happening with the number of carcinogens that are used every day in our foods and in our skincare and hair care products and even our clothing. Like, how many of you right now are wearing polyester, rayon, or acrylic-based clothing instead of wool and linen or hemp-based clothing or cotton or things like that? I mean, you're literally wearing petroleum products that don't allow your skin to breathe properly, which, by the way, your skin's your largest elimination organ. Anyway, maybe I rabbled on about too much about Vtox, but I'm very passionate about the ingredients that are in there and the types of results we're seeing from Vtox already. I mean, there's a patented ingredient in there. It's a liposomal silymarin, which has clinical studies showing it's dropping ALT levels in the liver by 48% in just 2 weeks with alcoholics. It was a liver detoxification clinical study they did on chronic alcoholics and ALT levels in their liver. And anyway, amazing results with that. Just one of the ingredients in this product. Let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, so neuromicrocaps. You know, we should probably do an hour-long training on each one of these products. I could talk about neuro forever. Let me just hit it up here generatively. There are, I don't even know where to start. My son, when he was 14 years old, was hit by a car traveling 45 miles an hour as he was trying to cross the street. He suffered a traumatic brain injury, of which doctors said he would not recover. When I say would not recover, they told me he was going to die. He did die on the scene, but some amazing paramedics literally were in the car right behind the car that hit him and were able to keep blood flowing to his brain, although his entire right side of his brain was destroyed. And he had to learn, when they found out about 10 days later that he wasn't going to die and he was starting to breathe on his own, he had to relearn everything. And I really dove into, and this was about 6 years ago, how the brain forms new neural pathways, what enzymes help form those new neural pathways, what enzymes block that production as we age. And I found some very interesting phytochemicals that are kind of a double whammy. One of those phytochemicals boosts the enzymes that build new neural pathways. Another phytochemical blocks the enzymes, the CAMP, or what they call the CAMP enzymes that block new neural pathway development. And I put those ingredients in neuro, as well as other clinically proven ingredients for memory recall. Bacoba was one of those. There's a patented ingredient there called Bacognize from Verdue Sciences out of India. Great clinical studies on that ingredient. Vinpocetine is an ingredient in there. Vinpocetine is actually a drug if you're living in Canada. Well, wait, maybe it's not Canada. I know the EU, vinpocetine is a drug. 10 milligrams a day is what they use for dementia patients. We have 5 milligrams in our neuro. In the United States, it is sold as a dietary supplement. Again, amazing clinical studies with vinpocetine. And we have some amazing anecdotal evidence of this product already. In fact, so much anecdotal evidence that we have a university who is willing to fund a clinical study for us, and we are working already on getting the approval to do that, the IRB, in order to do that. Because we've had traumatic brain injury patients who could not talk for over 20 years, who took this product, and 2 months later, they're able to vocalize themselves and speak in coherent sentences and stuff again. That was a tearjerker story we had. We had another guy in Missouri tell us a great story about his traumatic brain injury and how the VASAYO Neuro has helped him. Alzheimer's, we've had people tell us amazing stories with that, and dementia. There's an amazing video floating around YouTube right now, literally, with a lady who has been hospitalized because of Alzheimer's. Her mother, she's a brand partner. Her mother was pretty much completely incoherent, never recognized anyone. And just 2 weeks later on VASAYO, like, is a totally different person now. It's incredible. Anyway, it's a wonderful product. So that's neuro. Go back, what were the other two products there? Renew. Renew is our answer to inflammation. Again, there's about 60 diseases of inflammation right now. Everything from coronary heart disease to inflammatory responses all throughout the body. This product, from a clinical standpoint, I formulated it to help with CRP levels and other inflammation markers. Most people are telling us they're just getting great results for pain. It's a shiitake mushroom, curcumin, resveratrol, and ginger formula, again, all with the liposome technology. Sleep, I don't need to say much about sleep other than it works. You know, if you've tried melatonin supplements before, you've never tried melatonin with liposome technology. All I have to say about this product is do not take this product and then operate heavy equipment, because 15 to 30 minutes later, you're gonna be asleep. It's a great product. Again, we've got, by the way, since we're speaking to a lot of Canadians, Canada Health has given us their approval for this product, and not just their approval. When they looked at the ingredients, they emailed us a list of the claims that we are able to make with this product because of the dosage that we're using. You guys, this product is going to sell like hotcakes in Canada, especially with the Canadian maple syrup hotcakes, because it is, yeah, the claims we're able to make. I mean, we can actually say in Canada that this product helps alleviate sleep apnea, helps improve oxygen flow to the brain during sleep. It helps improve red blood cell circulation. There's a ton of claims that we can make on this product. So if there's any physicians out there and they've got patients that are suffering from sleep apnea, guess what? Health Canada says we can make those claims with this product. We have approval for that. So we're super excited to be launching with sleep in Canada here shortly, as soon as we finalize our licensing and company registration up there. All right, next slide. We got to step this up a bit. Core Complete is my answer to, again, the vitamin and mineral deficiency that many people suffer from. This, by the way, you guys, is not a synthetic isolate, okay? This really is a whole food complex. And when I say whole food, I have people ask me, hey, did you put vitamin D in this product? Is there vitamin K and all this stuff? And I'm like, no, I didn't add vitamin D. We have 800 IUs in there naturally, and it's at least 800. So what I need you to understand is when you look at the supplement facts panel on Core Complete, that is the minimum amount of guaranteed nutrients you're going to get in this product. There may be more though, but in order to make the label claim, we have to test each batch and guarantee that there's at least that minimum amount in there. But you also have to understand that this is a whole food product, so there's probably literally hundreds of phytochemicals in the Core Complete that we haven't even written on the label. I mean, think about it. There's a green food complex in there. The simple fact that it's green means that there's chlorophyll in the product, but we didn't write chlorophyll on the label because it's not an added nutrient. But we do have barley grass from Canada there. We have alfalfa from Italy in there. We've got spirulina from the great state of Hawaii, chlorella from Hawaii as well. Anyway, this is a whole food complex. Even our fish oil is not an extracted EPA or DHA. People say, well, tell me about your omega-3 capsule. Well, I'm sorry, we don't use omega-3. I don't have omega-3 that I added to this product. What I do have is I have a 100% virgin cold-pressed salmon oil that is high in omega-3, 5, 6, 7, 9, and even trace amounts of 13 in this product. Why? Because it's a whole food, so it's got the full spectrum of fatty acids in there. And yes, on the label, we do test it for omega-3 and omega-6 and omega-9 and omega-7 and omega-5, and those milligram amounts are listed right on the label. But again, that's the minimum amount that's in there. You might be getting more as you take this product. So it's almost insulting to say that this is VASAYO's multivitamin complex, because I don't like calling it a multivitamin. It's a whole food nutrient complex. 1 packet a day is all you need through a special fermentation process. We were able to take these whole foods down, ferment them down so we could concentrate them, and you get a slew of vitamins and minerals in there, as well as probiotics, enzymes, all the omegas, all the phytonutrients, over 72 trace minerals and more, all in one product. We had some lady shop this out one time where she went and bought all the individual, she bought a multivitamin, then she bought a probiotic, and she bought an enzyme formula. She spent like $400 buying something that you can get for $64 from VASAYO. And trust me, when I say $64, I don't want you to think this is a cheap product. This is actually what we call our loss leader. It's Dallon's charity product. The cost to manufacture this product are actually exorbitant. They're quite high. But this is the product that we literally wanted everybody on auto ship. If you're not on auto ship on this product, you're not benefiting from what it can do for you. What can it do for you? We don't know, because we don't know what your body's lacking as far as nutrition. We've had just about every testimonial under the sun on Core Complete that a medical doctor would say, well, that's completely unrelated. How can that be? I mean, we've had people say they can hear better. We've had people say they can see better. We had one lady say that her sense of taste improved. Had another guy, 49-year-old guy, say he now wakes up with an erection every morning that he didn't used to do. And sure enough, test his testosterone levels, and his testosterone levels are back at 700 or so when they were down to 300 4 or 5 months prior. Because again, nutrients are what your body needs to function normally, and none of us eat the way we know we should be eating, which is what the word dietary supplement means. This helps supplement your diet. If you're lacking somewhere, take Core Complete. It's the shotgun approach to, complete nutrition. V-Slim, I'm going to go real fast over this. We have a clinically proven patented ingredient in this that we own the worldwide exclusive rights for. It's an extract of Carolum fimbriata. The patent is owned by Gencor, a very well-respected global pharmaceutical supplier. They supply drugs to big pharma companies, and they also supply patented herbal extracts to pharmaceutical companies in Europe and dietary supplement companies in the United States. They're a huge conglomerate organization. We were able to negotiate the worldwide rights to this one particular ingredient. We blended it with some other things that I knew would benefit that ingredient, because I've known their patent ingredient for a long time. So we have a very effective weight loss program. The most effective weight loss product out there is duct tape. Number one cause for weight gain is overeating, overconsumption, calories in versus calories out. But this product is probably the next best thing. Nobody can make weight loss guarantees, but this is a clinically proven ingredient. It has multiple clinical studies for cortisol reduction, visceral fat reduction, body weight, overall body weight, and belly and butt fat reduction as well. So it's an amazing ingredient. V3, I really don't like energy drinks. So when I was asked to formulate an energy product, I formulated what I believed energy should be, and that's long-lasting, sustainable, natural energy, not from caffeine or stimulants. This is a non-stimulant green tea, Garcinia, it's green tea theobromine from cacao, Panax ginseng, coconut, freeze-dried coconut water for hydration. Because again, if you're wanting energy, it's usually because you're active or you're playing sports or you're an athlete or something like that. So I wanted to make sure people were getting plenty of hydration. So we did a freeze-dried coconut water in there. Anyway, it's a pretty cool energy product. I have never used energy products on a daily basis, but I take V3 almost every day. I love it. I think that's it. Have we covered all the products? Am I missing any? Yep. So,
absolutely. Now, I know we did a 30-minute interview on the huge results of the best results. So if anybody needs that on the weight loss, I've got that on a recording we did about 6 months ago. I had phenomenal results and not changing my eating habits or my workout habits. Now what I've done, Tracy, is I've hired a nutritionist. I've hired a coach here, and we got a lot of their people in here. So does anybody have any questions before we bring this in for a landing and I finish up, we've got some professional people in, and we've got, has anybody got any questions that they would like to ask?
Yes.
Yes, dear.
I use the sleep one, Melissa.
Yeah.
Let me try. It works really, really.
Oh,
really
you don't have to
well.
tell me. I love it. It's my favorite product.
I really like it. What dosage of melatonin is it?
What dosage of melatonin do you have in the sleep?
I know everybody asks me that. Unfortunately, our formulas are proprietary. We literally have spent millions of dollars over the past 3 years developing these formulas. And I would love to share that info with you. But when Coca-Cola reveals their secret flavor formula, then I'll reveal my formulas. You just need to know that it works.
And it's 100% been tested and stuff like that. So maybe one question that I've got, I know we've formulated our CP marijuana for launch, and we got another product in January we're going to launch. How is that for Canada? Do you know where we're at with that? Will we be able to bring that in under the same thing that we've got, not for resale but personal use here in Canada?
I don't know. That's a really good question. And I would not use the term marijuana to describe it because ours is actually an industrial hemp product. Marijuana is used for the kind of, cultivated weed that contains THC. Ours is an industrial hemp, so it is THC free. Always has been. Anyway, but that would be a question for our lawyers that we've hired in Canada. Canada really restricts CBD right now because Canada is one of the largest producers of CBD products, so protectionism is coming into play as far as the government. Ours happens to be an American source of CBD, so that's going to come into play when we go for Health Canada's approval, I'm assuming. If we have to switch to a Canadian, I don't know if we'll be able to do that because our hemp extract is actually patented. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I don't want to share too much, but it is a unique one of the kind. We own the patent on it, and that's why nobody else has it or can use it, and that's what's going to set ours apart. Personal import, I'm sure you can do, maybe not legally, but if any of you are willing to drive across the border, I'm sure you're going to be able to get some of it up there.
We're going to have
yeah, I don't know how that works.
Yes, one question?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on, or maybe you're already developing like medicinal mushroom blend, like using lion's mane or reishi?
Mm-hmm. So I am a huge fan of the active phytochemicals found in mushrooms. I've studied the beta-glucans extensively. Obviously, my schooling, by the way, is in Japan. I spent 7 years in Japan getting my PhD, where the majority of the medicinal mushrooms are found, everything from lion's mane, shiitake, reishi, maitake, and I have in the past developed mushroom products that were some of my best-selling products that I made the biggest royalties on. I would love to do that for VASAYO. Dallin picks the categories and I formulate the product. So you need to talk to Dallin and tell him that you want an immune product or something like that, and then I can formulate a great mushroom product for you.
Well, I just happen to know his number very, very well, so I will do that, Tracy. And I just want to know we got a room full of people here. When you were naming all of those products that I've never even heard of, most of the people in this room knew exactly what you were talking about. So we have a wealth of knowledge that's in this room, and we're excited about launching Canada. And I know that Dallin was gone, and he said, I'll get a hold of Tracy, see if he'd come on, and understand this guy's not easy to get. He's one of the hardest guys in the company, and Tracy and I have become good friends. We do have we have a dentist here that's got a question. Yes?
I got a couple.
All right.
One is on the timing of the products. A lot of the products that I'm taking, you need to take with that before a meal, 30 minutes after, don't eat. Because of the delivery system, has your products eliminated that hassle?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, let's just take a look at our 3 non-liposomal products, our Core Complete, our V3, and our V Slim. Those are whole food products. So Why in the world would you need to take them with food if they're already food? You don't need to trick the body. The reason why a lot of companies say, hey, take our supplement with a meal is because it's a synthetic isolate. And your body will completely reject it. And it does anyway. I mean, who cares whether it gets in your bloodstream or not? If it's a chemical and your body doesn't know what to do with it, let me just share this experience with you that you have all experienced. How many of you have taken a multivitamin and then 3 hours later you go to the restroom and you pee neon colors?
All of us have done that.
Yeah, what do you think that is? Do you think your multivitamin's doing you any good? No, that means your kidneys recognize that chemical in your bloodstream. You didn't assimilate that. You may have absorbed that into your bloodstream, but assimilation is where your body then takes that nutrient and builds something with it, whether it's a new cell or a hormone or something. If you assimilated that vitamin, then why are you seeing it being flushed down the toilet? Your kidneys recognized it as a chemical and they eliminated it from the body because it was a chemical that they didn't want. That's what you see when you take those synthetic isolated multivitamins. Ours are whole food, so of course your body recognizes them as food and it uses it like a food. Our liposomal products already are in a fat bubble, and it's actually a very beneficial fat. It's phosphatidylcholine. Our sunflower oil that you see on our labels is actually a branded, I almost told you what the brand is. I think that's proprietary information, but it is a non-GMO pharmaceutical grade sunflower oil that contains 95% phosphatidylcholine. So it's basically pure phosphatidylcholine, which is the exact same fat that your brain is made out of, and it's the exact same fat that every single cell in your body's cell membrane is made out of. So it's a fat that your body loves.
Thanks.
So yeah, there is no need to take these products on an empty stomach or with a meal or in between meal. I don't care when you take them, just get them in your body.
And we got one more?
Yeah, on the sleep product, I understand the sleep product could be changing your alpha, your theta, your beta waves, but you also said sleep apnea. So I'm interested in what your thoughts were on that.
So we do not only use melatonin in this product. If you got a bottle there, I want you to take a look at the ingredients, but we actually have serotonin regulators. We have GABA in there. We've got other ingredients that target different areas of sleep issues, including peripheral blood flow enhancers so that we're getting more oxygen to the brain as well.
And by the way, Tracy, I've got a form here that you sent out that were passed of all of the things that our Canadian government said that we could talk about, and I have that here, so I can share that with the group.
Yep, and then we talked about mushrooms just a couple of minutes ago. I want you guys all to look at the Renew. I'm already using the shiitake mushroom in Renew, and it is a shiitake mushroom that is standardized to a 25% beta glucan. So, you know, Renew is not just for inflammation. There are other benefits. We are getting people seeing a healthier immune system. We're seeing an increase in NK cell activity. I've got a couple of AIDS patients that send me their blood work every 3 months or so, and just on Renew, their NK cells are increasing. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't formulate it for AIDS patients. I'm imagining it has something to do with the beta glucans in the Renew, though. But anyway, that's these are pretty diverse products.
Just one thing I want to share with you, Tracy, and the group can know, and I give my blood work to Melissa. I just went and got my blood work done about 4 weeks ago, and every single category of my blood work has went in the right direction, every one of them. And I was on another pretty good supplement before that, and in 2 years, we did the blood work, and we had the results, and no exception across the board, everything. My good cholesterol went in the right direction, my bad cholesterol went down, right across the board, every single thing. My blood work moved in the right direction.
Well, see, this is exactly what doctors are looking for. Doctors' goal is to create homeostasis in the body. Well, guess what? With the proper nutrition and the proper time, the body is made to mend itself, and it will mend itself. And so instead of forcing homeostasis with synthetic isolates, how about just feed the body the proper nutrients it needs and let it take care of it on its own? And pretty soon you're going to get more and more people with blood work like yours.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the doctor couldn't believe it. He said, "What are you doing?" And I don't understand the blood, but Melissa does, and I have the results here. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Thank you so much, Tracy. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and tell them a little bit about the business. And and if I got any questions, I'll email them to you or send it to you in a text. And thank you so much for taking the time.
All right. Have a good evening. Take care, guys. Bye.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Now, I'll just go ahead and say, like when we did the weight loss, I've got a 30-minute weight loss, when to take the product, how to take it, and using those 3 combinations, he calls it the trifecta for health. I went and lost like from 194.4 with a big belly down to 180 pounds, and I did not go to the gym once. Now I'm going to the gym. I got a trainer hired, and all I did was take them at a certain time, and some amazing things started to happen. So what I want to let everybody know is, just go like what we talk about here. The wellness industry is going to hit $1 trillion. Now think about that. That in itself in the next 10 years. Well, I seen this slide 5 years ago, you guys. So there's a lot of things that are happening. So just go to the next slide and we'll go ahead. The timing, the lipotechnology, the things that this guy has got. When Dallin got me to do that interview with him, he was off limit to everybody in the company. And because I was working with Dallin got, and we've had tremendous amount of weight loss with the nutrition. He's more worried about whether you lose the weight of how healthy you're going to be. All right. And he's phenomenal. Now timing, just turn to the timing one to the next slide. Do you think we're in a good timing? We're going to do a meeting in Calgary on Monday night, which is going to be basically this team's launch. I did a meeting 4 months ago in Red Deer, and I'll tell the results when we're done. But we launched this company on the 17th in May on 2017. We are 100% debt-free. We brought investors in. Boom. We done more in the first year of this company than he did in Montevideo, which broke every record in the industry. We're here right now, and there's nothing like create momentum, first movers advantage. And that's where we are right now. So everybody in this group, the people that are on there, we're building a team. And I'll explain that in a little bit. So there's nothing like being in at ground floor. When I started this business, my friend called me, I got in, and I used this sleep, and I used some product, and it put thousands and thousands of people in the team, and then went from there. That's one thing I'm good at, is building teams. I'm going to spend 90% of the time with Melissa's team in the next 4 months, the next 2 years in Western Canada, that'll go all around the world. And I truly believe you build a foundation, it will build from there. Next slide. 8 ways we get paid. And I'm going to go through this really, really quickly because you're not going to figure it out. We do not have, number one, customer sales bonus, because we can't be a customer. It doesn't cost you $500 to join this company. $1. Why? Because we're not for resale right now. So you get to come in for $1, and then you get to order your product, and that's how you get into business, okay? Production bonus, team commission. So I'll just go through this real quick. Next slide. So when you start this business, what you want to do is you want to become a star. And how do you do that? You put somebody on the left side, and you put somebody on the right side, so you put 2 people in. We're going to put everybody in this group together in one team. So when you fill out your form, if you like what you see, I'm going to give you the options at the end where you get started. You can come in. If you like the business, there's some advantages of getting in the founder's pack. If you just want to be a customer and use the vitamins, you got just his vitamin. He said, I want to create the best vitamin in the world. And that was his signature. They wanted to put it on at $150. They want to put it on at $100. He put it on at $64. So he wants everybody. The other products will make up as he becomes a multi-million and multi-billion-dollar company. We can go ahead and do that. So what do we got? One on the right, one on the left, okay? So, and then really what do you want to do? You want to become a star maker. You want to help everybody do the same thing. Now, how many people out there know somebody that would like to lose a little bit of weight? Does anybody know anybody out there that maybe doesn't sleep very good? Does anybody know anybody out there that's got aches and pains? All right, do you know anybody out there that would like to make some extra money? We all know that. So do you know a Bob and do you know a Sue? You put two of them in, you get them started in the business, boom, you've now created what's called a star. All right. Now I'm going to go on to the next page. Okay, so that's one way. Now, here's our production. You can earn up to 20% commission on your first order. So whatever you order, if you put two people in a calendar week, they're going to pay you a 40% commission. So to understand that if you just help a couple people do what you do, you've basically got your product already started, you've got a product in your house, and you've got a business already started. So let's say we get 20 people in this week. Now we got 20 people in this group. Now we're building a team of people together. All right. Now this next slide is back up a little bit. You're going way too fast. Back up to the team commissions. Now this is residual income, you guys. This is what is going back up one more. Right there. This is what's called your residual income. As I help build this team, and that's what I do, I partner with somebody that I know has got credibility, that's got a good work ethic, that goes out, and I help build a team. So we're going to be working all together on building a team. So as we build the left team, and we put Bob in, we put Joe in, and we put everybody underneath there, when you have 240 volume on your left side, and you have 480 on your right, that's called a cycle. And what a cycle pays you is $28. You can make 1,000 cycles a week, which pays $28,000 US. Now, I'm not trying to tell everybody that signs up we're going to make $28,000 a week. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If we start with 20 and then 20 turn to 40 and 40 turn to 400, 400 turn to 4,000, as I build this across, we're working together. So we're going to build one massive team together and help you guys build your other teams. So that's your residual. And when you hit gold, that's an extra $5,000 a month coming into your business just by having 6,000 in volume going in your lesser leg each week. So go to the next slide. All right. And I'll answer any questions. And for those that need to call me, I'll be available for any calls. So this is what's called your rank advancement. You start as a star. When you get to gold, that group I started in Red Deer, we probably had 20 people in the last few weeks that got promoted to gold. You win a free cruise, you make a few $1,000s, and you got a great business started. So by starting, and as you promote yourself up, when you hit diamond, they take you on an all-exclusive trip around, and then some major bonus money starts coming in and so on. But I mean, whether you're looking for health or you're looking for some extra income, I'm going to be here to work with this team to do whatever I can to help and so on. So the next slide, generous word plans. We've got a worthy cause called Hearts and Hands. We drill water wells in Africa. They've been over there. They've got enough now to drill 35 wells. I think we've drilled 28. And so, 22,000 or 2,200 kids die every day over in Africa for water and stuff like that. So we've been doing a tremendous amount of work. I think it's like $8,000 to drill a well, and we've been doing a tremendous amount. Next page. Okay, so here's how it works. There's 3 ways to get into this business. Next slide. 3 ways to get into this business. So for everybody here, if you just like what you see as far as nutrition, Melissa is as good as anybody here. You're here. I think the doctor did an incredible job explaining it. So you could come in and maybe order what's called a Get Started pack, which is 240 PV. And that would be basically, you'd be a customer. You'd be using the product, maybe not interested in building a business or making any money, but that would give you all of the products, and that would be about $300 US, and that would get you started in the business. Or you could just make an order. So that's the first way to come in. Second way to come in would be kind of a family pack, where it would give you a little bit more, like twice as much, so you'd be able to share it with your family. The third way to come in, if you're interested in making money And I'm going to tell you, I would highly recommend this if you can afford it. But I've been traveling all over the world. I've built teams. I believe get in where you fit in. I started with my multimillionaire assistant that owns real estate and many companies. He brought his investors in. They all come in with the Founders Pack, which is basically the Gold Pack. That's $1,299 US dollars. Gets you $400 worth of extra product. So it gets you an ample amount of product. Are you with me? So you can be sharing your, but it also at the Founders Pack gets you a 2% revenue sharing pool with the company. It's no longer available in the United States. So as we open up each country, we're, probably have it for a month or so more. I'm not going to give dates. That's not what I'm here. But that allows you to get paid a revenue sharing pool that's substantial, which, pays me, between the gold promotion and the revenue sharing pool pays me, several $100s every check based on because I bought a Founders Pack. So I would say right now, if you can afford that, that's the number one thing to get in. If you can afford it, you're looking at a business, that's the best way to start. And as we bring people into business, they'll all be going underneath this group. So we're going to be doing a meeting on Saturday or on Monday night. I'll give the location here in Calgary. So whoever signs up that night, we recruit people. They'll be coming in this team and starting at the bottom. We only build 2 teams, okay? Now, that's the first thing we do. So pick your pack, get started, or if you just want to be a customer, find out what product works for you, and we go from there. All right, next slide. Second thing you need to do is you need to enroll in what's called an LCP, which is basically your auto ship. As long as you're doing a minimum of an 80 auto ship, everything that happens in your downline will be banked. So it will continue to build your organization and continue from there. So that's the most important thing. That's what people get on. So number one, I highly recommend doing an auto ship with your vitamin, and whether you're doing a sleep or whether you're doing a neural or so on, the neural and the vitamin. Yes, dear.
I would like to see everybody be on the core complete and the sleep, because we all need those micronutrients in our food and in ourselves. And the sleep, not only does it give us rested sleep, but what happens when we get a good sleep is our body actually goes into repair. So if you're just thinking about it, like that's what I did. I've been on the vitamins for 2 months. I didn't hear about this and share it with my friends. I tried them with myself. I know they feel good. So try the core complete and try the sleep. It's the top 2.
And the neural.
This is about how long a supply?
That's only 5. That's a sample.
Oh, but if you bought the real
30 to 1 month supply.
1 month.
4 squirts is the recommended rate. Some only need 2, but
Brittany's
try.
been taking it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh yeah.
I went to my grandparents' medicine hat and I forgot it at home and I could not sleep. So upset.
Half an hour before bed.
Or less.
I
hate it. I'm going to tell you, I've done trainings where I did a sleep, and 5 minutes later, I'm talking on the phone and I fall asleep. It puts you into a REM very quickly, and you wake up if you need to. It's not like a sleeping pill, and you wake up rested. What's that?
The anti-inflammatory one. That was renewed.
Yeah, and not only that, okay, and so what I will tell you, what I've learned, the neural is feeds the brain, and sleep, when you sleep, detoxifies the brain. Okay, so everybody hear that? Okay, so now the last thing and the final thing is right there. You're way ahead of me. Good job. And the final one is become a star. All I can say to everybody that's online, everybody that's here, the bottom line is I'm going to draw out on a piece of paper how we're going to set the team up. If you guys like what you see, get a hold of Melissa. We've got people that have already joined the team, and as you join and you let us know, we're going to keep your forms. You'll go in that order. We're going to send this webinar out to a bunch of people, and I'm going to be working directly with this team. And as you build teams, I will come in. Right now, we're building Western Canada. It'll go all around the world. I don't know where everybody's from, but we've got 11 countries going right now. And, I've got a downline in many, many countries right now. So does anybody have any questions online right now before we end the Zoom, webinar.
Nope, all good on my end.
Okay, well, thank you, Angela. You did a great job. We got a great team here in Calgary for a start. So understand, you guys, if you like what you see, we got a big webinar or a meeting. We'll probably have 50 to 100 people here on Monday night to launch Canada, or launch Calgary. And we've had meetings here, but this is my official launch here in Calgary to kick things off. Got a big team in Red Deer, and the rest of it is basically untouched. I'm looking forward to coming out to Surrey. I built a huge team out in Vancouver in the Okanagan Valley. And you guys, we do a lot of work online. Most of these webinars take 30 minutes. We've got webinars going on with the top reps around the world and live presentations. I don't like my presentation being too long, but I had an opportunity to bring the formulator on tonight, a little in depth for some of you, but for a lot of the people that were here, it was a wealth of knowledge. So I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to go ahead and wrap it up, and then I'm going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time to join this with me. And there is a sign up link in the Facebook invite group, so you can just click on that. It's melissasterling.vasayo.com, and that will put you all in the same leg. So whenever you guys get in, that's going to be the team. I know for myself, Jesse and I have been doing our broadcast for an hour every night, which is a little bit exhausting. So we're moving down to a once a week format, which will give me some extra time. So I'm going to be on at least once, maybe twice a week to help people with their choices of products and to help them include mindfulness with their vitamins and products. And so this is a benefit to you because you can bring on your friends, your family, your customers, and you can give them direct access to me because I'm here to answer their questions, right? Because people might not want to take the vitamins until they know what it's going to do for them. So if we're trying to ask questions, that kind of stuff, bring them into the community group format because it's better for all of us if we work as a community.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks guys for joining. We're going to sign off now, but yeah, send me a text or send me a Facebook message and we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, Kim.
Thank you.
Kim?
You're Kim. Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Mama.
Hello, Mama. Somebody said. Okay. Well, somebody, is that your mom?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
from Mexico.
From what?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Good to see you.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Angela.
And there were some other people.